I'm going to record this. So just an FYI. Hello, good morning, Cynthia. And I know the other Cynthia is going to be joining. So let's just have this up here. All right. You can hear me. You can see me. Great. All right. Let's start with some breath work. One hand on the lower abdomen, one hand on the chest, and feet about outer hip distance apart. So you don't want them too narrow or too wide. Feet facing forward, just good ergonomics. And then one hand on the lower abdomen and one hand on the chest. And we'll start by slowing the breath down, as always. And again, see if we can inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. So nice, slow inhale from the belly up like a big wave. A nice, slow exhale from the chest, the ribs, and the abdomen. Also called 3-part breath or wave breathing. And I like it because it also helps. It's almost like a self-diagnosis, not of anything disease-wise, but in terms of how you're breathing. Sometimes we don't even know if we're breathing more shallowly in our chest, or just we don't know how we're breathing. So this is a great way, right, to see if this is difficult. It probably means that you are maybe habitually breathing a little more shallowly. And the more we're able to breathe deeply and slowly, right, our lungs really expand, the diaphragm descends. It gives our internal organs below the diaphragm a little bit of a gentle massage. And the better we're breathing, the more oxygen we're taking in, the more that oxygen is delivered to the red blood cells, the travel through the body, the better our energy is. And it's an indication to the nervous system that you're safe. There's no imminent danger. And that is really when we heal. So it's this massive cascade of events that happens simply by slowing the breath down and working on breath ergonomics, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, even standing, like keeping the shoulders back, right? For they're hunched forward, it's much harder to take a deep breath because our lungs are collapsed or our chest is collapsed. So opening the chest, it's a lot easier to take a deep breath. And let's continue to work on opening the intercostal muscles. Same breathing, but now we're going to add in a little movement. So slowly inhale the arms, just let them float out to the sides all the way up, and then crisscross so your palms touch. And then exhale, separate, let the arms float back down. So nice, long, slow inhale all the way up. And slow exhale all the way back down. Now, when the hands come above the head, the palms touch. You can alternate every other breath which positioning your hands are in. So if one hand tends to be right and left, you can switch. So the alternate hand is on the opposite side, just to even things out. It's good for the brain. Or you can do a few rounds in one position and then switch to the other. And one more inhale. Okay. So let's just do a gentle opening of the spine before we'll go into a sequence, a Dao Yin sequence. Dao Yin is actually an even older version of QiGong that actually looks a little bit more, has some more yoga flavor to it. But first, let's just start knocking across the lower abdomen, the lower back, nice and gently. So you're getting your liver on your right side, gentle massage here, your spleen, your stomach more towards the center left and left, and then your kidneys and the adrenals in the back. So even though it's the spinal enlivening exercise, the organs are getting a benefit here. And then let's come up below the collarbone. Opening the lungs, the lung meridian. And then let's come up to the very top of the shoulders. Give that gallbladder 21 a nice, gentle, we'll say a little smack. Really helps to release the tension in the shoulders, and it also is said to help brain functioning, help clear thinking and decision making. Descends energy down out of the head. It descends turbulent, ruminating thoughts out of the brain. We want proper brain functioning. And then back down below the collarbone. And then back down to the waist. And then let's unwind. Let's go into water waves. So still turning from the hips and the waist. Now we're just allowing the arms to float across the body like you're brushing the space around you. Like a little broom. We're sweeping away any negativity, ruminations, anxiety, stress. Just giving ourselves a little sweep here. And feeling a gentle rotation of the spine. And then start to slowly unwind. All right, now let's do a little cleansing and clearing. So arms out to the sides, take a nice inhale, and then exhale, drop and turn. Inhale to the center, now drop and turn the opposite direction, back to the center. So it's drop and turn to the center, drop and turn to the center. And then you see a little pumping action of the knees. So even if I don't really move my arms at all, I'm just pumping the knees and rotating, my arms will naturally swing. So we're just giving a little bit more emphasis to that. And then maybe do a little sharp exhale out the mouth. And then start to slowly come back to the center. Okay, so for Dao Yin, we've done this before. It's been a while though. So we'll start, it's basically we're stretching the meridian lines of the body, which we're often doing in QiGong. But we'll start, this time the feet are actually a little bit closer together. So instead of the outer hip distance apart, if it feels okay for you, a little closer together, maybe like an inch or two apart. And we'll start with something called the arrow. So we'll clasp the fingers except for your index finger. Make like a little steeple with your 2 fingers. And actually start with your palms right at the center of your chest. So the knuckles of your thumbs are actually pressing gently into that space at the center of your sternum. This is a great posture for emotional balance. So we're pressing this point, Ren 17. It's said to balance our emotions. We're to start here, creating a little connection to this channel. It's also called the conception channel. Runs right down the center line of the body. The paired channel is the do, which runs the central line of the back of the body. And so an integration of these two has this cyclical movement of energy that, according to Chinese medicine, those were the 2 original meridians. When our cells first divide, that center line that's created, the Ren and the Do. So let's press here. Maybe feel a little spaciousness through the chest and the emotions. And then on the inhale, you're going to raise your arms. So you're making the little steeple with your fingers pointing up towards the sky. And then gently press your hips very gently forward, just so that you're getting like a micro back bend. And then bring the hands to the back of the head. So you're cradling the back of the head as you bend the knees, and you're going to bring, almost like you're crouching yourself into a little ball. You're bringing your elbows closer together on the exhale. Now on the inhale, start to straighten your knees. Slowly roll up, stretch the arms above again, so your hands are still clasped. And then exhale, come down. So we're connecting. This is first the metal and the earth element. So opening, take a nice deep breath. Bring the hands to the back of the head as we exhale and crouch down, elbows coming together like you're squeezing gently. And then inhale, expanding like a spring. Think about as we come down and we contract, like a little spring, that little coil, it's getting tighter and tighter. And then as we inhale, there's a release of that coil, that spring, the energy expands outward. A couple more times. So exhale, come together and down. And then inhale, stretching up. Exhale, come together. Now this time, extend the arms up, release the hands, bring them out to the sides. And as we do, keep a little bend in your knees. We're going to dive forward, come all the way towards the earth. So you can keep your hands on your thighs if that feels good, or reach them down towards the earth. We're giving our hamstrings now. This is the water element stretch. Stretching the bladder channel, the back of the body. Continuing to breathe. And then make a little basket with your hands. So your palms are facing up. And then very slowly, we're going to start to roll up. So keep the knees nice and bent. Slowly roll all the way up. Keep the hands clasped as we inhale. Draw them up through the center. And then flip so the palms face out. And then up towards the sky. And now a little balance here. Come up to the balls of your feet. There's a point right at that center called kidney 1, and it's also translated as raising the bubbling spring. It's the first point on the kidney channel. So stretch up and then exhale, bring your heels down to the ground. And then let's reach over to the left. Press down through your right foot so you get a nice stretch to the side of the rib cage here. Pressing your hands away. And breathe. Now inhale to the center. And now exhale over to the right. Press down through the left foot and then press through the palms of your hands. So you're reaching in two different directions. Your foot is really pressed and anchored down. And that gives us the opportunity to expand upward as well. And then inhale to the center. Now we'll release the hands and bring them just to about shoulder height. So your palms are facing the sides of the room. You're stretching. So you should feel a stretch through the meridians in the arms. Now tuck your chin back and in. That's actually that slight movement of the chin back and in is what actually creates the stretch. So you should feel more of a stretch if your chin is, instead of forward, we're tucking it back and in. Now let's keep the arms out. Just rotate so now the fingers are facing towards the back of the room. And again, chin back and in. And now turn so the fingers are facing towards the floor. Chin back and in. This is stretching the heart-centric meridians here. The fire centric, heart and small intestine and pericardium. And then exhale, the arms float down. Just close your eyes for a moment. Feel that flood of energy running down the arms into the palms. As the meridian lines are stretched and expanded, energy flows more freely. And then we'll do that whole sequence one more time. The only difference is when our arms come out to the sides, our fingers are going to be together so that we're stretching the outside of the arms. But we'll start first clasping the hands together, except for the index fingers. Press the thumbs into the center of the chest. Let's connect with that point, Ren 17. And then let's inhale, extend the arms up. And then exhale, hands to the back of the head as we bend the knees, come down to a little ball, like a little coil. And then inhale, like a spring releasing, we expand. And then again, exhale, coming down like a little ball. And then inhale as we expand up. Again, exhale, coming together. Inhale. One more time. This time, after we extend, release the hands. Let's bring them out to the sides and we'll come with a forward bend. Let me fix this. Keeping the knees slightly bent all the way down. And keep your hands either on your thighs or towards the earth. Just getting a nice gentle stretch in the low back and the hamstrings. Now create a basket with your hands again. And then very slowly we'll start to roll up. Nice, slow rise. And then palms flip out and then up towards the sky. And again, come to the balls of your feet. Take a nice inhale, raising the bubbling spring. And then exhale, the heels come down. Separate the hands. So now this time, instead of the palms facing out, turn, bring your fingers together so the back of your wrists are extending out to the sides. And again, tucking your chin in is going to help create that stretch. So pull your head back slightly. It will actually create some length in the back of your neck also. Now we're stretching the yang meridians of the upper arms and lower arms. And then it's turn now so the fingers are facing forward and then chin in. So stretching the arms. So try to straighten those elbows. So you're really feeling a nice stretch. And then now turning the fingers so they're facing down towards the earth and then tucking the chin back in. And then exhale, the arms float all the way back down. And close your eyes for a moment. Just feeling that expanded sense of energy through the arms, maybe the legs. Okay, so let's come to our neutral stance again. Let's shake everything out before we go into our flows. I love the Dao Yin sequence like that because it really systematically stretches the meridians of the upper body and the lower body. So now let's start producing a little pumping action with the knees, getting the stagnation out of those joints, the knee, the wrists, the elbows. Moving anything that's feeling stuck physically, emotionally, mentally. Just create a little bit of movement so things feel a little less bound. And start to slow down. Okay, so for our flows today, I thought we'd start with one of the animal frolics sequences called Bear Swims in the Ocean. It's really great. It's more centric for the lung system, but I like it because it is about inspiration. And I'm hearing a lot of a similar pattern of how people are feeling, and they're feeling stuck. So a lot of stagnation, feeling stuck, whether it's with in a relationship or with a job or figuring out what it is that you want to do, and you celebrate and put forward your gifts. So this is about inspiration, right? It's an inspiration, breathing more fully and deeply, but inspiration in terms of what it is that is a driving force of what we're doing and helping to kind of connect with that. So the great bear swims in the ocean. I'm fixing my ordering here. So we're going to start keeping nice loose arms. Now the tailbone glides back slightly as the palms are facing up. The arms extend forward and then spiral. So now the hands are flipping outward. And then as you inhale, you're going to widen the arms out to the sides and they spiral back in. So they spiral back in, the tailbone glides back, and we exhale. the arms forward, and then flip so the palms face out, and then a big inhale coming back to the center. So when I say that, say the tailbone glides back, right? The tailbone glides back slightly, and that creates already space in the upper body. So the arms just float out as an extension. So we're moving still from the center and then inhaling back in, standing up straight, spiral the hands in, and a nice long exhale. The lung and the large intestine meridians, the metal element, they run up and down the arm, the thumb and the index finger. So the movement is really concentrated here. So extend the thumb away from your index fingers. You come forward. And then flip so the palms face out. And then inhale back in. And then create a little more smoothness through these transitions. This is a great one. When I say moving like you're moving through water, I feel like this is a great one. It's easier because it almost feels like you're doing like a swimming stroke. But the challenge here is to maintain our awareness, our connection to what we're doing, moving slowly from the center with relaxation. Inhale, opening up the space, these channels that run into the lung area, opening the chest so that we breathe more deeply, more fully, literally inspiring this fresh oxygen. And exhale, coming forward. So connecting to that part of us, that the great bear energy, that massive, beautiful, courageous energy, swimming, moving through like this field of energy, this life as we know it, swimming in this vast ocean, connecting with what it is that inspires each one of us. With courage and joy. Just inhaling, opening yourself to possibilities, right? Starting with connecting to these rhythms, whether it's respiration, when and how we're eating, when and how we're sleeping, the natural rhythms that are part of not just us as humans, but of life as we know it on Earth, at least, of nature, the cycles of the sun and the moon, the seasons. Putting ourselves into these rhythms can help make that connection to what it is that drives each of us forward, makes that a little more easeful and apparent. Let's come to our chi ball for a moment. You great bears, connect with that space between your palms, like a little pearl of brilliant light. That is just as much you as the lungs that are helping you breathe, to your heart that's helping pump the blood, to the voice, the vocal cords making certain vibrations. And now we'll go in the opposite direction here. So coming home to the heart, similar but different to Great Bear swims in the ocean. This time we're going to take the arms, the back of the hands forward out to the sides, and then coming around towards one another, and then spiral now the hands in so the pinkies come towards one another, and then inhale back to the center. So this time we exhale out and around, back of the hands come towards one another, and then spiral in, drawing right in towards the heart center. So same thing, the tailbone glides back as the arms float out, and then inhale back to the center. Exhale forward, inhale in. So this one is a little more centric to the heart and pericardium channels. As we float the hands out and we spiral the hands in, the pinkies, the heart channel comes towards one another, and then we're bringing those hands, the energy right into the heart space. So exhale, nice and slow, and then inhale right into the center of the chest. So now that we've connected to and worked on our lungs and inspiration, now what it is that we want to bring in. What fuels our heart, our passion? Stretching out, and then think about these little tendrils of golden light that you're pulling in right into the center of the heart, right into the house of your shen. In Chinese medicine, that it's the heart and the blood that houses our shen. Shen is loosely translated, there's many different translations, but spirit consciousness, they say, is really rooted in Chinese medicine in the heart and in the blood. So if we have adequate blood, it nourishes not just our tendons and ligaments, but it's an anchor for us feeling at home in our bodies. It's also related to how well we sleep, the shen. So we're nourishing literally the house of our consciousness when we're building and working on the energy of the heart space. Exhale slowly forward, and then slow inhale, drawing right in to the center, this golden light. What is it that you want to bring in? Create those little tendrils, those golden threads, like a little net, and you're drawing that in and absorbing it. It's nice, slow inhale and exhale. Let's do one more. Pulling right in again, holding our chi ball again, feeling the space between the palms, stretching them apart, slowly coming back towards one another. And then let's bring the arms down. So we're in the posture, lower embrace the tree for a moment. Chin tucks in slightly, shoulders down away from the ears. Drop the tailbone down. And then from here, we are going to mix all of that together. Inspiration, connection, joy, passion, and like we're little alchemists. Single arm turning the wheel. So we're going to start, turn your left hip slightly forward. And as you do, draw your left, so your pinky is in towards your body. So you're going to inhale, your hand comes up the center, all the way up, and then pull your hip back. And as you do, that left arm stretches out and then down. So the movement is really coming from here again. So now as the right hip comes forward slightly, the right hand comes up the center line of the body, leading your pinky more towards your chest, coming up. And then exhale that arm forward as you draw that hip back and down. So the full body is involved here. So inhale, snake that hand up, forward, back down to the starting position. And now the right hip forward, right hand comes up, forward, and then draw that hip back as the arm comes down. Like you're mixing a bunch of ingredients together. You're letting all those energies marry. This alchemical process that starts to generate something even more magnificent than each of those energies separately. Emergent properties, I believe, is a term that's thrown out there. It's these properties that wouldn't necessarily come manifest without certain things being combined together and mixing. So we're inhaling up the center, exhale forward and back down. Inhale and exhale. With relaxation. So relax the shoulders, just inhale, allow a little expansion up, and then exhale back down. We combined inspiration, courage, passion, connection, joy. Amazing things can happen. So we cultivate that first internally. And let's do one more to each side. And let's come back to our chi ball. And then let's bring the feet closer together, and we'll end with centering. So let's inhale the left arm out to the side, come all the way up above the center of the head, and then exhale right down the center. And now inhale the right arm out to the side and up. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. One more time to each side. And let's end one hand on top of the other below your belly button. Make a few circles here. And then let's pause and just give ourselves a few more moments. Feeling that integration, relaxation, peace. And when you're ready, you can crack your eyes open. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a really great weekend. So Monday at the park is happening. Wednesday at my clinic. I'm closing early because I have family members coming, so that's canceled. But Friday after Thanksgiving, I will be having class. So if you want, I'll send you the link. So, but have a great weekend. Have a great Thanksgiving, and if I don't see you beforehand, otherwise I'll see you next Friday.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.